In 2 years, I grew my YouTube channel from 2,000 to over 100,000 subscribers. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire video creation process, all the way from choosing topics, planning your video and your hook, creating titles and thumbnails, recording gear, how to edit it, and all those little details when you publish a video on YouTube, getting the title, description, tags, and all those checkboxes just right. If you want to jump to a specific topic, there's going to be chapters down here so you can go to the recording, the editing, or the publishing part. But we're going to start at the very beginning, which is choosing a topic for your video and then planning out what you plan to say. So step one is if you're creating a new channel, or maybe you already have one established, your niche is going to be different than mine. Maybe it's technology, maybe it's business and finance, could be travel vlogging, but whatever it is, hopefully you're watching content in that niche. And if you are, just going to your YouTube homepage is going to be a great barometer to see what subjects are being covered by similar creators. So being in the tech space, when I go to my homepage, I'll see videos about the new Mac Mini, which makes total sense, videos about the iPhone 16 Pro, other gadgets, plus I do watch some vehicle videos sometimes, so I have a Rivian video there. And there are creators that I really just love watching all their videos, like the Vlogbrothers. Scrolling this homepage should give you an idea of where to start. Being in the tech space, I'm seeing multiple videos about the Mac Mini, and maybe I don't even have a Mac Mini to talk about, but I can still do an explainer video talking about pricing, different configuration options, and more. Oh look, there's a recent Riverside video right there talking about adding background music in the editor. So let's say we've decided on a topic, which is the Mac Mini. Search for that topic here in YouTube and see what are the top performing videos and what comes up first in search. Also, before you even hit enter, just seeing the auto-suggested list after that search term can give you an idea of what topics people are looking for, like accessories, setup, or upgrading the internal SSD. Let's just search for M4 Mac Mini and see what videos show up at the top. Here we have some general review videos, some teardowns, some videos taking some hard stances like this is the best you can buy right now. Now, if you want to see the best performing videos, I'll go over to filters and let's sort by view count. Of course, we have Apple's videos at the top, Big Tech Creator, MKBHD up here, and Mr. Who's the Boss. But once we get below those kind of millions of views videos, now we can see what videos are resonating with the audience. General reviews. This video is talking about using an iMac as a monitor with the Mac Mini. That's pretty different. Lots of teardown videos if you have that ability. So overall, it looks like a general review, if it's possible a teardown, or just a buying guide for the new Mac Mini would be advantageous. Now, one other place you can look for trending topics is Google Trends. I'll put a link to this down in the video description, but here Google's actually telling you the major trends across all categories right here, depending on country. But I can also go to all categories and then sort by topic. So if I look at technology, these are the biggest search trends right now. And so maybe if you're just in the general tech space, maybe doing something on PS5 and Black Friday deals would be advantageous. Let me also change this to the past 7 days. And this gives me a broader idea of what people are searching for in the tech space. Let's check business and finance. If you're wondering why Dogecoin is up at the top, it's because Elon Musk was actually just appointed by Donald Trump as the Department of Government Efficiency. And well, that's why it's number one. And you can see other general topics here. If you're talking about investing, the stock market, you can see several topics here that would be advantageous to cover because people are searching for it. And remember, one of the great advantages of YouTube videos is they'll actually show up in Google searches when people are just searching the web. For instance, if I just do a Google search for getting started with iPhone, when I scroll down these results, videos are going to be one of the top results. And it just so happens one of my videos are right there in the results. And that's going to drive traffic to your channel, possible subscribers, and definitely views. So hopefully with those resources, you found a topic that's trending or something you want to cover that's popular right now. Also, doing topics that are long-standing or long-term can also be beneficial. That video about getting started with iPhone, I made that over a year ago, but it's a topic that's kind of evergreen. There's going to be a lot of people always coming to iPhone for the first time, and they want to know how to use their device. So try to balance your channel between topics that are evergreen, that people will watch for years to come, and topics that are trending and new. Trending and new will help you be discovered by a new audience and gain more subscribers, but that long-standing evergreen content will always show up in YouTube and Google search results and give you a long tail of views on your videos. So now that we have a topic, we'll say the M4 Mac Mini. Let's go into actually planning what we're going to say about it and how to package this video so it's clickable. Here I have a new note, and actually starting with the title may seem counterintuitive that you'd want to plan out the video first, but the title and thumbnail are so important when it comes to YouTube. If you can't find a good title for it, it might not be a good video idea to begin with. So let's focus on the title and then we'll plan out some bullet points. Now, obviously, whatever the main subject is, you want to put that in the title of the video. So M4 Mac Mini should definitely be in the title somewhere. Now, maybe we're going to try and focus on a buyer's guide. Is this actually good for students? And that's a good angle. I didn't see any videos talking about, is the Mac Mini good for college students or high school students? And with your titles and thumbnails, you also want to generate curiosity. So maybe we'll say something like, the perfect Mac for students, but end it in a question mark. So this way it drives a little bit of curiosity. Is this actually a good computer to get for myself or for my family? And you can generate a couple ideas here. Maybe we'll write it more in the form of a question, like, is the M4 Mac Mini the perfect family computer? Something that's just going to pull in the viewer a little bit so when they see this title, they want to know more. Whether we go with these exact titles or not, this is a solid start and we can always massage these later. So let's think about how are we going to format this video. At the very beginning of your video, the first 10 to 30 seconds, it needs to be almost a trailer and hook for the rest of your video. How are you going to pull people in quickly so they keep watching, and are you providing value the entire time? Now, one of the great things about the Mac Mini is it's actually the cheapest Mac you can buy. So maybe starting with that in the hook will actually get people watching. Maybe I want to ask a question right at the beginning, like, can the cheapest Mac computer also be the best? Or something like, can you actually get a $600 Mac desktop computer that will last for years? Asking those kind of questions right at the top, or starting an idea but not finishing it till later in the video, that's going to help hook the viewers and keep them watching until they hear the answer. Now we want to make sure we're following this up with lots of value. The rest of this intro should be a precursor to everything you're going to talk about in the video. So I'm jotting a couple bullet points here that I want to say right at the top. Things like, if you thought you needed to spend thousands of dollars for a powerful Mac, those days are over. The new Mac Mini and M4 has incredible features. Even at the base model, it is a massive value. Now I'm literally just reading that off my note, but hopefully the way I'm talking and engaging with you through the camera is helping to pull you in. And we're going to talk about camera techniques in a second. But that second bullet point too, there's one thing I wish were different, but we'll get to that in a second. Throwing something like that right there in the intro, again, piques interest to say, okay, this seems like a great deal, but maybe there's one caveat that makes it not a good buy for me. That's going to help keep viewers locked in, and they want to hear, if it's a great computer, what is that one thing that this creator thinks is different? Even if they've never heard or seen you, you're building trust with that audience by providing the value and being clear, even here in the intro, about what you're going to talk about. And as you continue to plan out this video, I would create maybe 4 to 5 different categories or headings. Think about these categories being actual chapters in your YouTube video. And maybe start with something they're not expecting. A lot of creators in the tech space talk about specs and memory, speeds, and all that kind of stuff. So maybe you want to do something different. The perfect use cases. And you're going to talk about that for a couple minutes. Then you can talk about pricing. So I just jotted down quick 5 ideas, like the perfect use cases for this computer, pricing and why you don't need any upgrades, what you'll need in addition to the Mac because it doesn't come with a keyboard and mouse, something to mention in the intro. Number 4 is one thing I wish were different about it. Again, that's something you alluded to in the intro, but we're going to put that a little later in the video. And the final point is, should they buy? Which is where you can really provide the most value, trying to guide people in their buying decisions. And make sure you do your research because you want to make sure that those recommendations are solid and sound. And when that person buys the computer or that device or invests or whatever it is that you're talking about in the video, when it goes well and they enjoy their purchase or they find your advice to be worthwhile, that's going to build trust and they're going to come back and watch more of your content. So we've planned our video. We have our title, our hook, our categories, what we're going to talk about. Now you might go and actually script this entire video. Maybe you feel more comfortable reading off a teleprompter. That's fine. You can do that. When I record videos, I will typically just go off these bullet points. I'll add a few more details under each heading, and then I just talk extemporaneously. Like right now, these are actually the bullet points that I'm going off of to record this video. Right now, we just did 1 and 2, and we're going to go into 3, which is video, audio, and lighting techniques. And this is literally the prep I did for the video. So depending on your topic, maybe it's something you talk about all the time and it just comes out naturally. Maybe you just need a few bullet points to get you started, or if you want to script the whole thing, either way is fine, whatever works for you. So let's talk about video, audio, and lighting. Now there's lots of videos on the Riverside channel, which I encourage you to subscribe right here, and I go in depth on those lighting, camera techniques for all budget levels. But the main thing to remember is this: you don't need a bunch of expensive gear to get views on YouTube. You can just use this. Your phone is actually a powerful camera. You can get a tripod like this to hold it, so this way it's stable. I like this little magnetic clamp here for the phone. Attach it right there, and you're ready to shoot. Make sure your camera's at eye level, and this phone is going to give you great video quality. Then when it comes to audio, there's actually really great lavalier microphones, which will just attach to your clothing. They even have little magnetic things to hold it on. and they can be really discreet, and this is going to get you great video quality even if you're far away from your mobile device. I use these on the go, and I'll put a link to some of these in the video description, but again, it's about $100. Now, if you'll be doing a video podcast, I would recommend a USB microphone for that, and they'll start at just $50. I'll put recommendations down in the description as well. But the bottom line is you don't need a huge budget to start. Honestly, you don't need to spend anything. And a great way to do it as a solo creator is actually using the Riverside app on your iPhone. Not only can you record in high quality 4K video right from your iPhone, Android, or iPad device, but you can plug in a USB microphone and it works great with the Riverside app. And you then have access to the Riverside editor where you can apply things like AI Magic Audio. It's going to take that built-in microphone and make it sound studio quality, removing background noise, boosting the volume, setting an EQ, doing it all for you, and you're going to sound great. Here's just a little example of what Magic Audio can do before and after. Every example you're going to hear is with the built-in microphone on the iPhone. This is in an echoey environment, but when I enable Magic Audio, it's going to cut down on that echo and reverb, focus on my voice, and make this sound studio quality, even though the environment is not perfect for recording. So here we are outside, lots of background noise. There's a waterfall going here. My pool pump is in the background, but when I turn on Magic Audio, all that background noise is going to be cut out. And again, it's going to be focusing on my voice and applying things behind the scenes to make it sound studio quality. And even here in my studio setup where I record all the time, this is what the built-in microphone sounds like on the iPhone. But when I apply Magic Audio, it will make even this environment sound more studio quality using the built-in microphone on your devices. Pretty wild, right? I've actually recorded multiple video podcasts just with my iPhone and Riverside. This is one of them. Right now I was recording outside, which is another technique. When it comes to lighting, if you don't have any lights available to you, just sit facing a window. It's going to look better than having a window behind you. Then you get a little silhouetted look. But if you can invest in a light, you can get something like this from SmallRig. It's just about $20 or $30. Turn it on, you can change the intensity and color temperature. And this can even mount to things like this iPhone mount right here. And this can go a long way in raising that lighting quality. Now, if you're looking for a complete professional setup, or maybe you want to build a home studio like I have here, I actually did an entire video behind the scenes going through all of my gear. I'm going to rattle it off real quick and I'll put links down in the video description if you want to know. But I use the Sony a7 IV mirrorless camera with a Sigma 35mm f1.4 lens. That's why this background looks blurry, even though it's only like a couple feet behind me, because this is a pretty small room. For audio, I use the Sennheiser MKH416. That's going into my Rodecaster Pro 2, and all of that goes into my Mac Studio computer where I record. Plus I have an A10 Mini Pro video switcher and a top-down camera, which is the Sony a6400 with a Sigma 24-70 f2.8. I just said a lot of words. You either understood a lot of them, or maybe that didn't make any sense. But again, if you want to go in depth, kind of behind the scenes in my studio, I'll link a video up there and in the video description where I talk about all of it. But if you need setups for different budget levels, I did a whole video where I go over starter, intermediate, and advanced setups, recommending it from like $1, $100, $1,000, all the way up to $10,000 for lighting, cameras, and mics. And I'll link that video up here as well and down in the description. But whatever gear you have, number 4, being engaging on camera is really what's more important, whether you're using your iPhone or you have a professional mirrorless camera. Think about your camera shot. So right now you see I kind of have a chest up camera shot. That's typically what I use and what a lot of other tech creators use. You can go a little longer, like waist to head, or if you do vlog style, maybe you're showing your whole body as you're walking around town and doing things. But if it's mainly you just talking head content with the camera, you want to make sure that the camera angle is pretty close so you can connect with your audience. Again, that's why I do the chest up shot. And when you're filming in 4K, like you can do with the Riverside app, you can crop in here and there and actually get even closer to your face. Again, connecting with your audience and zooming out. That can also cover up some of the double takes or mess ups, which I do all the time. And every time you see one of those jump cuts, which I literally just did, it's because I did a bad take. Also, when you're on camera, make sure to lock in and look directly at that lens. Don't look off to the side, or if you're recording on your computer, try to resist looking down at your screen because that's going to be a disconnect. Like even right now, I'm not looking at you. Obviously, I'm reading off a note and it just starts feeling disconnected from the creator and the viewer. Also, hand gestures are important. If I were to just stop moving my hands entirely and leave them down here during the whole video, it actually starts feeling a little weird and like unnatural. So do work on moving your hands just a little bit, and you want to have that camera shot wide enough like I have here where you actually see the hands, because if this was cropped really in, I could be moving my hands a whole lot, but you just wouldn't see it. So work on that camera angle, make sure you have some hand movements. Facial expressions are important. Throwing in some humor and jokes could be funny, like you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. Okay, don't throw in like random jokes like that. I'm just saying throughout your content, let your natural personality come through. People identify with brands, but even more so, they identify with other human beings and people. So have your personality come through in your videos. And as they watch you over and over again for hundreds of videos like I've had on my channel, it will actually start feeling like a community of people as part of your channel and your podcast and less of just a one-way street. All right, one final word in this whole recording and planning process. Think about your audience. As you're building a channel centered around a topic or niche, think about, does this serve that audience? Are they going to be tangentially interested in it? As I look at my channel, anytime where I did a video that was kind of off topic, I can see it perform differently. This video, I was celebrating getting to 100K, which is great, but it was clearly not my normal content about technology and tutorials. And so you can see, even at 6,000 views, this is less than the videos around it. And when you have an underperforming video, it can be disappointing, but hopefully it's something that you can learn from as well. Why didn't a video resonate with your audience? And remember, your audience is larger than just your subscribers. Even for my channel with 100K subscribers, even just in the last 28 days, I've had 788,000 unique viewers. That means my subscribers, which is only 100,000, is like an eighth of the total audience watching my channel. So that's why you always want to encourage people to subscribe, because often, even if they see your videos regularly, they might not be subscribers. And if you look at even my returning viewers, and that means people who have watched more than one of my videos in the last month, that's over 200,000. So my audience, even of returning viewers, is double that of my actual subscriber count. So think about that as your audience and appealing to that niche. And a place I always look to see what videos are resonating with people that watch my videos is in the Analytics tab of YouTube Studio, which is right here in the left-hand column. I go to Channels Your Audience Watches, and I scroll through to see what other creators do people who watch my channel like watching. And I'll go to these channels, watch some of their videos, see if they resonate, and that will help give me an idea of the kind of content that is resonating. And also what your audience watches. These are specific videos that in the last 7 days, people that are watching your channel are also watching these videos. And again, this is a great way to see, okay, iPad mini 7, iOS 18, these are topics that people are interested in, and I should likely make videos related to this. So when you talk about serving your audience, go to this Analytics tab, see the channel and videos your audience watches, and make sure you're along the same lines, but a little different. Being unique is going to help set you apart and get you those new subscribers and views. And the real bottom line, just in general, make sure you're providing value in your videos. Are you entertaining? Are you educating? Are you inspiring your audience? Even throughout that intro and through each category of your video, make sure, what are you providing? What is the value? And is this moment valuable? And we're going to talk about editing in a second, because that's when you edit out all the non-valuable parts. But just think about that viewer on the other side of the camera, which again, when you're first recording, it can be a little weird talking to the camera, sitting by yourself in a room, and you'll get used to seeing yourself and hearing your own voice. But think about the person behind the camera lens. You're not talking to just a camera, you're talking to an audience. It might be single digits, it might be millions, but that audience is on the other side. And so as you're recording, think about that person. Honestly, I'm thinking about you right now watching this video, which you've watched a lot of this video already. Hopefully it's been valuable to you, but I want to make sure that everything I'm saying is worthwhile to you, the person on the other side of this lens. So you've recorded your video, you were great on camera, you locked into that lens, you followed your script and bullet points. Now it's time to edit. What are some techniques in the editing side to make sure that you can hook and retain your audience throughout? Now, whenever I do a video podcast, I record and edit in Riverside. And Riverside makes it easy because I can share my screen, add image overlays in the editor, and Riverside basically puts it all together for me, and I literally edit in just a few moments. Here's actually a time lapse of me putting together a recent episode of my podcast, Primary Technology, and I did it literally in minutes. I set the chapter markers, edited out a few things, which text-based editing, you can just select the text and delete, and you've edited your video and audio, and I can get it ready super fast. So for video podcasts, solo talking head content, would highly recommend using Riverside for all of that. Now for a video like this about the iPad, I'm doing multi-camera setups and I have that top-down shot. I have some plugins that I'm using, which I'm going to talk about. And so for that editing, I'm going to go here into Final Cut, but you can do a lot of this, especially adding those overlays, creating an engaging intro and more in Riverside. So we talked about the hook in the beginning of your video, and one of the most important things are those first 30 seconds. So you'll see here, I use some of my best camera shots and some overlays right here at the beginning. Plus I use that hook that I developed in the planning right here at the beginning. So if I just play this intro, you'll see hopefully this is an engaging first shot. It's got some nice slow-mo. I did an overlay to show what it is I'm talking about. And this is kind of a trailer for the video, showing things I'm going to be talking about. Obviously, I'm comparing the pricing. I'm comparing the iPad to the Kindle. And so visually, this is giving people an idea of what to expect. And I'm also saying what I'm going to cover. And then you see me on camera about 18 seconds in, holding the devices. You see that kind of subtle zoom in, which again, just helping the retention a little bit, and more comparison shots and B-roll. All of this is really just the intro, the first 30 seconds. And then once I get to kind of my first category or chapter, you see I have this title screen. This is a plugin from Motion VFX, which I use a lot of, that subtle zoom in and things like that. And now I'm into the first topic, talking about the hardware, unboxing it, and all of that. So that first 30 seconds is really important. Think of it as the trailer for your video, both in what you're saying and what you're showing. And as we go through this video, again, I'm showing B-roll and comparisons in between me talking because that's going to help the engagement. I have this same title slide, which subliminally tells people this is a new chapter, a new segment to the video. Again, a bunch of B-roll. And I do have some overlays here to subscribe and like the video, of course. I do screen shares. Again, you can do this in Riverside by sharing your screen, and this will be in the Riverside editor. And a subtle zoom in on that, which again, just keeps the pace going, keeps people engaged. And doing like little curious things like this slow-mo shot of a Kindle almost falling in the pool actually helps engagement. People will comment and say, "Why did you do that?" Or, "It looks like that Kindle's about to fall in." Any kind of engagement or comments is good. That's going to drive further engagement and hopefully elicit comments from other people too. And so trying to keep that pace pretty consistent throughout, doing overlays when you can. And Riverside actually has text overlays built into the editor as well. So you can do image and text overlays in combination. And just keeping that pace throughout is going to help viewers stay engaged. And here you go, you see that little kind of punch in, which I talked about. That's just zooming in, cropping in on my face, which helps cover up a bad take, but can also keep visual interest because it's something just a little different. Now, whether you edit it in Riverside, in Final Cut, or somewhere else, you're going to export that video in up to 4K quality, which Riverside does. And now it's time for the thumbnail. Now, sometimes people focus on the thumbnail first and build it. That's great. I kind of do both. My thumbnails are pretty natural, meaning I do them right here in the studio, and I'll actually capture them right before I start recording the video. So if I know if I'm going to hold something in the thumbnail or point at something, I actually just kind of do that while my camera's recording, freeze for a second, and then pull that screen grab to bring it in here and edit it for the thumbnail. I'm actually going to show you kind of the layers of this thumbnail because this is where it starts, which is just me smiling at the camera as it was recording. Now, I like to add a little gradient behind myself, and so I actually duplicated just me, removed the background. This application is called Pixelmator Pro, by the way, which makes these things really easy. Like, I can just right-click and remove background. So now I have that kind of gradient behind me. I layered myself on top. And so you see I added those in post-production, boosted the color and the brightness of both of those things, and then added the titles above each. So all of that comes together for hopefully an engaging thumbnail. Having your face in the thumbnail is key, especially if you're going to be on camera most of the time. You want people to be able to recognize you, and if they like watching you and just want to see every video you do, having your face in that thumbnail just makes it easy for them to see it and click it. Then if you're talking about something physical or tangible like a device, put it in the thumbnail, maybe with a title. Putting an arrow in your thumbnail is a good way, again, to draw attention. And if you just want more inspiration for thumbnails, again, just scroll your YouTube homepage. What catches your eye? Obviously, you see a lot of faces. You'll see text is pretty minimal. You don't want to put a ton of text on your thumbnails. So there's another little arrow up there in the top left. So just see what thumbnails draw your attention as just a casual viewer, and then apply those elements to your thumbnail. Oh, that's a great thumbnail right there. Now, once you've created your thumbnail and you export that, which I would do 4K resolution, which that is 3840 pixels wide by 2160 pixels tall, has to be less than 2 megabytes, so I typically export as a JPEG. And it's time to upload your video file, add your thumbnail, and do all your title and description. Now, when you're ready to upload a video, you go to your YouTube studio. That's at studio.youtube.com. You click Create, Upload Video. I'm going to jump into one of the videos I just did, and then we're going to go through each category. So obviously, you're going to put your title here, which we worked on at the very beginning of the process. Your description, I would do 1 or 2 sentences just talking about what the video is about. Maybe you want to put a link or resource at the very top. Like the first link in this description is to try Riverside for free. And then any other links of interest, whether it's products or other links to your social media or other videos. Chapter markers. And so if you want those chapters in your YouTube video, you literally just type this in your video description somewhere. I put the little word chapters, timestamps in this format. minute, colon, second, and then the title of the chapter. And then those will appear on top of the video where people can click it. I also put some links down here at the bottom of every one of my videos talking about my gear if anybody wants to buy it from there. Now underneath that, we're going to upload our thumbnail. And if you have a playlist of similar videos, you can add it to a playlist. And playlists are fun to just share. And if you have a kind of coherent step-by-step playlist, or maybe you're going through like all the steps to do a video podcast, you can put it all in a playlist and then share that. If you're making content specifically for kids, you can do yes. Most of the time it's no, and so I check no for all of that. If you have a sponsor in one of your videos, you'll want to check paid promotion here. I don't use any AI generated content in my videos, so I click no right here. And then these are defaults that you can set in your YouTube Studio settings, but I allow automatic chapters and automatic places and concepts. That's basically YouTube is going to use their algorithm, and as people engage with your video, they kind of put that information on automatically. For tags, a little tip here is you can get your transcript, which if you recorded with Riverside, you get a transcript every time you record. And I usually run that transcript through ChatGPT, and I actually ask it for SEO optimized tags for my YouTube video, comma separated, and I just copy and paste that right here. This way all those tags are related to the video, and I don't have to spend minutes or longer making all that up. All of this depends on your video and language. I do allow embedding, and I like to publish to my subscriptions feed. But if you do shorts, which a great tool for that is Riverside Magic Clips, one click and it will create short form vertical videos from your long form content. I usually uncheck this box just for my shorts because I don't want my audience to get spammed. And I usually share shorts every day, especially for my podcast. So I uncheck this box for shorts, leave it checked for long form. That's my preference personally. Your category just depends on your topic. Of course, I allow comments, sort by top. And then over here on the right-hand side, you can add subtitles. And a great way to do that is if you recorded with Riverside, you can download an SRT formatted file of your transcript, which is going to have those timestamps, and it'll be a better transcript than what gets automatically done in YouTube. So recommend uploading that SRT file. Then here on the end screen, you can link other videos, playlists, or channels right here at the very end of the video. I like to call out to them specifically, and so I'll choose specific videos to place here on the end. I actually like talking through it rather than doing kind of a graphical end screen. This way the viewer's still hearing me and I'm describing why they should click this video or click that video, which I'm gonna do in a second when this video ends. And last thing, cards down here are moments in the video where you can add a timestamp, link to another video or another channel. So here I link to my video podcast channel where every episode was recorded with Riverside. And here I link to one of my other videos, and you'll see it shows up as a little flag here on the video. Those are the cards, and that's what you see when you watch other videos and how to link to some of your own. Once you've done all that, you're ready to publish it. So you can go to public, or you can schedule it to publish at a future date. A lot of people ask, what's the best time to publish my videos? And typically it's not going to affect long-term performance, but if you go back to the analytics tab and go over to audience, here you'll see when your viewers are on YouTube. And I like to publish my videos when my viewers are on YouTube. This way it gets that first initial boost of views. So find one of the dark purple segments, like when very many of your viewers are on YouTube, and I would choose to publish it then. And that's it. Your video is now published on YouTube. Engage with those comments once that video is live and start planning your next video, because the other big key of YouTube is consistency. Whether it's posting weekly, bi-weekly, or even monthly, having a consistent schedule will help people come to expect and look for your next piece of content. Now, if you want to learn more about recording with Riverside and how it makes the entire process easier, be sure to subscribe to the channel right here and hit that like button. And if you have any questions on YouTube or Riverside, leave comments below. I answer those personally. And if you want to see how I do my video podcast and edit in just a few minutes, you can check out this video right up here. Or if you'd like to learn about using your iPhone as an entire studio, filming your videos and podcasts just with your mobile device, I have an entire video on that right up here. Thanks for watching. We can't wait to see what you create.